Okay, we've got the Defender set completely hooked up. Got the power supply here. We got our red lights on the power supply. We'll check our voltages. And our board set here. I've got the video hooked to my setup right here. And over here we're getting nothing. This is just a blank screen. And yes, it is hooked up correctly. We got all of our lights stuck on. So, first thing I'm gonna do is check and make sure the voltages are all good. Alright, I got this thing ready to go, so alright, here's ground. 5.1. 5.1. 12.2. Ground. Negative 5.1. So our voltages are great on here. No issues there. We are going to clean this thing up and cap it, so it'll be nice and clean anyway. Little soundboard test. I just went ahead and pushed this. So that's good. Turn it off. You know what I am going to do? I went ahead and turned it off. I'm going to plug this board in. I forgot this board. So we'll have the whole system hooked up. There we go. There we go. Now let's turn it back on. And yeah, the lights just stay on. This thing isn't doing anything. And we've got a bad these white sockets are no good. And we got socket issues probably along this board. Possibly, anyway. So, doing the first kind of stuff first, I'll verify everything. I'll verify the ROMs. I'll dump all of the ROMs and verify them all. I'll test all of these. We're replacing all of these RAM and sockets, and this thing's getting replaced. This thing's just getting recapped, cleaned up and recapped, and reflow all the headers. I'm replacing the headers. I'm replacing all of the power inlet and outlet headers. Here, 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 and here. Those headers will be replaced. And the ones that are not replaced will all be reflowed. All of this connection stuff. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and figure out what's going on with this thing. And first thing I could do, I could probably just pop in a new CPU and see if that makes a difference. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's just pop a CPU in the thing, and that's the easiest thing to check, right? So turn it off. and lift this out. I really do not like that socket. All right. 6809 processor. And pop it in there. Okay. And see if it does anything different. Nope. Nothing different. Okay. Nothing on the screen. Yeah. Okay, we'll verify all of the ROM and all of that and make sure that that's all good to go. Yep. So preliminarily we got a nice power supply. That's good. And that's about it. We got a nice looking board set. It's clean, but it just doesn't work. So we'll fix that. All right. Let's turn this thing off. And we're going to let all the power dissipate. And yeah, I want to verify all of the software and all of the RAM. I want to verify these are all good just to do it. Even though we're replacing them, I'm going to do that. I'll verify the 2 decoders. And the CPU is probably fine. Yeah. That CPU is probably fine, so yeah. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and take everything apart and start going through and just testing, dumping ROMs and verifying ROMs and all that good stuff. And then I'll probably pull all the black tops off of these and start picking pins out of this board because we're replacing all these sockets. It's getting a good overhaul, so we'll get all that started. This thing is doing nothing to begin with. All right, going through all my testing, I found one bad RAM in the Inquisitor, and then I found a bad ROM, which was ROM number 11, and both of these video decoders are bad. Right now I have in decoder number 3. I put it in the programmer and I'll load up, oops, come on. What's going on? Okay, I'm gonna load up. Yeah, see, this thing's giving me random nonsense over and over. But if I forgot how to use this. Load from a file, we're going to reload 3. And this is the file right from MAME. And it does not verify with this. Yeah, see? That one's no good. And then this one, I just checked it on MAME, and the checksum for 2 decoder is like 84, 8840 or something like that. 84 something. 8F40. And then if we go ahead and put decoder number 2 in, it is also, let's try to verify it. is also no good. So both of these decoders are bad. That is a total bummer. Yeah. I am going to just try the Harris 7641 and see if it comes up any different. It won't come up any different. Try number 2 first. 8E80. You can see that's not the right pinout. Or that's not the right checksum. 8E80. And then this one. Yeah, 0FE0. This one gives me kind of random nonsense every time. This one does. Yeah, see 0F00 that time. And F00. These are no good, which is a total bummer. These decoders are not cheap, so that'd probably explain why there was no video at all when I was, well, that and the RAM and the ROM, you know, it's just, this thing's got some bad parts. These are normally pretty reliable. These are pretty good normally, but these ones are not, and I'm gonna program a couple more of those guys. Set this back up. Grab 2 of them. Okay. I got 2 right here. And these are both national parts, so we'll go ahead and go over to national. 74S 474. Okay. Put this one in first, and let's just verify that it's erased. Not blank. It says it's not blank. Dang it. What about this one? This one is blank. So what is on this one? Yeah. And this one's, well, it says 82S141 on it as well. Let's change over to that. 82S1. That's Signetics 141. And let's see. That's not blank. Why is that not blank? Why is that in my stock not blank? Zero 0800. Let's look at the. Let's look at the RAM. Yeah, it's got 1 bit set in the you know, the 3rd bit. 0 the 1 2 0 1 2 3. The 2nd bit 0 1 2 would be 4. It's got that bit set in every freaking location. This thing is no good to me. Garbage. How did that pass? That is a total bummer right there. So we'll go ahead and program this one anyway. And I'm going to load up from the file. We're going to do 2 decoder. This one will be decoder number 2. Okay, and we will program. Done. And I'm just going to put a little sticker on there, and I'll put a sticker on here and call it number 2. Number 2 decoder. And I got to grab another one. And let's just go ahead and verify that this one's erased. Damn, seriously? Select device. Select device. Let's go to national. Wow. This one's not even close to empty. It's got a bunch of FFs written into it, or a bunch of 00s. FF is what they should be, but when they program it, they blow the fuses to make it a 0. Yeah. That's no good to me. Well, let's see if this one's erased. Yes. Alright, well I got 2 of them that are not erased. They're no good to me if they're not erased. One time programmable. So we're going to do this one as decoder number 3, so we'll load from a file 3 decoder. Okay, and then program. Done. And we'll just load that back. Man, looks good. FF00. And let's take a look at that file. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Okay, now we have our decoders, and I discovered that some of mine are not erased. I should just go ahead and check the rest of them. Obviously, when I bought these, I was not feeling the need to verify that they were actually erased, and it cost me. That cost me money. I've only got 3 more in here, so let's see if they're erased or not. Okay, let's just blank check. That one's good. That one's not blank. Oh, I got 4 apparently. No, not blank. Cool. So I got 2 that are good. And 2 more that are not. So I got ripped off. Yep. Ain't that a shame. Wonder what these have in them. Yeah, see, this one's got 1. I mean, it's every bit except for 1 has been programmed. It has 1 0 in every location. In every hex location is 1 0. Wonder what this one says. Normally, as unprogrammed, these would be FF. Let's see what this one says. This one says 03 in every location. So as you saw, the one was either 04 or F4 in every location. I don't remember. And then the last one was 10, and this one's 03 in every location. So yeah, these are no good. Absolutely no good to me. But I got 2 of them. Yeah, that's what I can do. I'll put in one of the empty ones and we'll check it out. It'll probably be FF in every location. Should be. Well, it's 0 zeros. So it might be 0 0 in every location. Yeah, this is 0 0 in every location. So these are actually zeros when they're not programmed, and the bits are set. It starts out 0 0. So yeah, maybe those other ones just went bad over time, and they had bits that drifted high or something. Because remember, it was 1 0, and then they were 1 0 and then 0 4. So maybe they just went bad over time. I don't know. They do that? I've never heard of those doing that, but I suppose it's possible. But nonetheless, I got 2 good decoders now. These 2 are no good. So we got our good decoders, we got a ROM, and that's going to do that. So I can turn this thing off now. Alright. There we go. Well, that's it for software and ROMs and stuff. Okie dokie, so we have removed and cleared out all of the RAM sockets. I have removed this thing, cleared out the spots, and there's no battery damage in there, so that's great. I've removed the caps and this power inlet. I reflowed these other ones, and I have these ROM sockets removed and cleared. This one's not used, you know, if you remember that. That guy's not used, so I'm not replacing that one. And I have removed the power inlet and the filter cap. and I've reflowed these. So I'm getting ready to put some 16 pin sockets in the board right here. So I'll do that and be back. I'll actually be back after all of the socketing is done. So let's do that. I'll be right back. Okay, and we have new sockets. Nice dual wipe sockets. I replaced the power header, and I only put in the 5-volt filter cap because this is going to have 4164s, so 5 volts the only voltage that's going to be on this board, so you don't need the other caps. This one is for the for the 12-volt unregulated. That is for the reset circuit, so I replaced that cap too. It's a 22 microfarad. I'll clip this down to the proper pins after I'm done with the RAM mod and everything. And then we got this board here, which I got the cap replaced, the 100 microfarad filter cap, and the new power pins and sockets. Yeah. Nice and clean. And yeah, and here I could use cleaning this one more time. I probably will. I'll spray it again and clean it one more time. It's got a little residue. Yeah, let me do that. Be right back. Okay, yeah, I just sprayed it again, cleaned it one more time. Got that residue, the remaining residue off of it. As you can see, it's super clean. Just looks beautiful. Nice board. And down here is the power pins. Yeah. Ready for our new battery holder, which I have ordered. I got that coming. And I had to order the RAM. I thought I had it and I didn't, so I ordered the RAM. And yeah. Yep. I think what I'll do is I'll get this thing going with the 4116s, and then we'll do the conversion to 4164s after it's all tested and said and done. I think that's how I'll do it. So, yeah. All right. Well, next is just repopulate everything. Okay, so I'm back together, and I found another RAM, a 4116, that is an exact of what was in here. So I put that in right there where I had a bad one, remember. I got my ROMs in. I got the new ROM in that I burnt right there, and my 2 decoders that I programmed. And it is plugged in, turned on. I checked the voltages. Our voltages are still right where they should be, but we still get nothing. No video. So I'm going to have to start probing around on this thing and seeing what's going on. So I will do that and be right back. Okay, first and foremost, since this thing is no signs of life at all, I went to the schematic and I looked up the reset signal. And reset is on 37, so 0, 9, 8, 7. And you see it is constantly in reset. Well, I went ahead and just started tracking back some of the reset stuff, or stuff involved in reset stuff. And one of them is the watchdog timer. And that's this 393 right here. And the only pin that is a concern in this thing is pin 6, which is the output that goes to this 02 right here. Pin 6 is right here, and it is floating. So that guy right there, that 393, first and foremost needs to be replaced. Because we have to get this thing out of reset. Because right now it's just pegged down into reset and it's not doing anything. That's what's going on with it. So this watchdog reset goes, basically it's being held in. This is definitely an issue that could probably be holding the whole thing in reset. So let's replace this guy. That's going to kind of set off a whole chain reaction of stuff. So let's go ahead and do that. Get rid of this guy. Alright, we're back together, and pin 6 is now doing something, so this is a definite fix. And we are now actually resetting. So now we have something going on, something's working right, and we have some activity on the data bus. Now this thing seems like it's trying to do something, but I still have nothing on the screen at all. So, yeah, no video whatsoever still. So that's kind of strange. I know I do have my sync signals. And this is my video is just red, green, and blue is nothing. Yeah. Interesting. So anyway, we've made a step. We got at least we have a signal here now. That's good. You know, with this 393. So reset is actually working. So now we'll just continue on, and I'm going to stick with this reset signal circuit right now, and start going through. I think there's some 74s or something. I'm going to make sure everything in that reset circuit is working properly. So I'll do that, and I'm going to look at the schematic on it. I think the end product signal from reset goes into one of these 74s or something as a data line. I'm going to find out exactly what that is and make sure that it's going low when I reset and then going high when I let off. Just make sure that that is working. Yeah, it's just probing around on the ROM board, because I think this has problems, this ROM board. And I printed off this part of the schematic, and up here you have a 395 inputting a 7442, and what I had noticed when I was probing the 7442 is all of the inputs, all of the addressing inputs to it are floating, and those come from this 395, which basically it's got a clock on pin 10, and then it's got 4 output bits, and it's got inputs on 3, 4, 5, and 6. So if we look at our inputs to that thing, 3, 4, 5, and 6, 10 is the clock, and I can maybe, let me try this, see if I can do this. Hold that on there and do a single shot. So it is, see right there, I did a single shot, and you do have a clock to this thing, but the output bits to this are all, the output bits are all floating, every one of them. So this thing's not doing anything. This 395 is doing absolutely nothing. 395. Which I'm not even sure what that is. I'm not even sure what a 395 is. I think it may be a shifter, a 4-bit shifter or something. I don't really know. Anyway, it needs to be replaced, and I have one right here. I've actually got two 395s right here. So I'll go ahead and replace this 395, and we'll move on. Okay, we have another discovery here. I pulled the PIA chip, the peripheral interface adapter. I pulled this out and I tested it in the Inquisitor, and it is fine. So I just wanted to eliminate that. I love having the Inquisitor just for that reason. On Defender boards, I always like to pull this chip and test it and make sure it's good. And then socket it, put it back in. It's better have it socketed anyway. But if you turn this on and turn it off, what this is supposed to do is these lights come on and then they go out. So if we do this and I turn it on, you see they come on and they go out. Yet we have nothing on the screen. It's just blank. It's kind of a blue hue on there, and that's just because I have the brightness turned up a little bit so that I can see if anything is going on, and there's nothing going on. It's just, and you can verify that by looking at the guns. The red is at a ground level, if I can get on it. Yeah, red's ground level, blue and green, they're all ground level. There's just nothing. And that means that they're all 0, so you're going to get no color, absence of color, so the screen is actually black. It's a little bit blue just because I have the brightness turned up. But this thing turns on and the lights flash and they go off. So how come we don't have nothing? I'm probing these color RAMs. This system uses palette RAMs instead of PROMs, where the CPU, the circuitry is dumping data into these, and then it's getting picked off and put to the color circuitry over here, and then goes out to the monitor. So instead of using bipolar ROMs, they just use a RAM palette. And you can see these are the output bits, and they're all just not doing anything. There's nothing going on these. But there should be, right? So I just grabbed a 7489 and I just jump it over these. And as I jump it over, you can see this thing resetting. And if I take this and I jump it over the other one, then we get the same thing. So what it boils down to is both of these palette RAMs are bad. Both of them. So yeah, I'm going to stop, take it apart again, and remove the RAMs, socket them, and put a couple RAMs in it. So let's do that and be back. Okay, so we are hooked back up. I got my two new and improved color palette RAMs in the board. Let's go ahead and turn it on. Hey, there's our typical rug pattern. That's good, but it is not working. Yeah. So this thing definitely has some problems. At least we got some video image now. It's better than nothing. The ROMs are all tested good. Okay, so I am just, before I really dig into schematics, I'm just going to kind of poke around a little bit more. And, see what's up. Yeah. As of right now, it's kind of a whodunit. It could be this board, it could be some more circuitry on this. So I really want to kind of finish looking at this and eliminate this. I know the ROMs are good. I know the PIA is good. The rest of the circuitry, I did find one bad part, but that's really as far as I kind of looked at it. So, and a lot of times when you fix one thing, it exposes other problems. So let's just go ahead, continue to poke around and see what we can see before we really have to get into the schematic. Right now, I just kind of want to finish. This is a small board. There's not much to it. So I just kind of want to finish looking at this circuitry, and then we'll move on to this one. All right, now you see how it's kind of, the video is kind of split into four. That rug pattern thing should go all the way across, but it's like in sections of four. Well, I know these 153s are in the, there's four of them, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And those bits end up with the color palette, basically. I'd have to look at the schematic to find out exactly how, but I know that they're involved in the video. So I got to probing those guys, and two of them are absolutely, definitely bad. We can look at them and see. These have it's a 153, so it's got two select bits on pins 14 and pin 2 with an enable on pin 1, and it's enabled low, so it is enabled, and 15 is an enable. Two separate enables, okay. So we are getting select bits, so it should be selecting between different things. And here's our least significant bit input. Here's our next one. Our next one, you see that there's action on every line, but our output is just always low, and it's a fuzzy low. And then over here you get this junk on this side, which over here you get the same thing. Here's the least significant, next bit, and then the output is that. And then on this one, that was this one right here, and this one, same thing. You got enables, select bits, least to most significant. That one's low, low, low. No, these are all low, and the output's low. So this, because of that, I didn't think this was bad. You got low, 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 and a low output. It should be, but it's got to be this other side that looked bad. So here's the least significant, the most, or the next, next, and the output is that. Yeah, so there's two chips right there. I think I'll just stop. Go ahead, replace those. I would imagine that we'll get our complete rug pattern after that. You'll see the line go all the way across the monitor. That's what I'm thinking anyway. So let's replace these two guys and then just continue. I did print off some schematics. I've been going over a little schematic work and stuff. And anyway, let's get the video right. Let's go ahead and replace these two guys. Okie doke. We have these two guys out of the board and 2 new ones in the board, socketed. A little tip on Defender Williams boards. These 4 chips, the 153s, you really need to use 74 153s. Do not use LS parts in those 4 spots. This happened to me one time. You can get little tinglies on the screen if you don't use the regular 74 153s. The LSs will work, but you can get little sparklies for whatever reason. So yeah, use regular 74 153s. You can see that's what I got in the board. 74 153. So let's go ahead and turn it on. Here's the bad guys. And our rug pattern is proper now. See how it goes all the way across the screen? And look at that. Well, how about that? So let's go ahead and see if this thing will come up. If we reset it, if it'll come up with the Defender logo and whatnot. Okay. It does not want to advance apparently. Let's try this again. Now reset was having no effect. Yeah, it won't advance out of this. So I think what I want to do is I want to jump a 5101 RAM over this. Just kind of jump it and see if we get anything different. So let me do that. I'll be right back. Yeah, I jumped a 5101 over top of the CMOS RAM, and this baby is running. So I'm going to have to stop and remove and replace that RAM. Let me do that and I will be right back. And I've got my 5101 removed and in the Inquisitor. And it is bad. So I've got it socketed. I'll go ahead and put that one in. I've got the board all nice and cleaned up as well. There's where my socket is soldered in. Those are the 2 RAM, the pallet RAM that I replaced, 7489 RAM. So we're all cleaned up. I'll go ahead and pop that other guy in there. It's right here. This one right here. There. There you go. Fixed. Alright, and once again we are hooked back up. Got the new 5101 RAM installed. And we got our power all hooked up. So we'll go ahead and fire it up. And there it is. Looking good. Defender. Okay. And when you fire it up with no batteries, it does this. And you should be able to, and if you can't, if this doesn't work, then your CMOS your chip's bad. That's every time that I've had a bad chip here, this is what I've seen. So if you just reset, it should come up and run after it's been powered on. There you go. Defender. Heck yeah. Now, all I have to wait for, I have bought 4164 RAM for this board. So we will go ahead and swap over the RAM and then clip a couple of these off. You clip this one with this yellow one. That gets clipped off, and the first one with the -5 gets clipped. Those two get clipped. The orange and the yellow and gray. You just clip those header pins right off. And then you have to jump from this guy right here. I believe, I'd have to look at the back, but this is 12 volts, I believe. And you have to jump that over to the next one is 5 volts. There's two 5-volt guys, I think. These two guys, I believe, are both 5 volts, and you jump this to that, so you're sending 5 volts down the 12-volt line. You could also ground it. Yeah, if this is ground right here, it is. You could actually just ground it too, and you'd get the same effect. So, yeah. Cool. All right. So our board issue. I'm going to set out all of the bad parts. Hey, you know what let's do? I'm going to put these two decoders back in and see what happens. Remember, they verified bad. In my reader, they were not the decoder files. So I just want to, out of curiosity, I want to put those in and see what they do. All right, I have the original decoders back in. Decoder 2, decoder 3. So let's fire it up. Yeah, see that? Goofy. Nothing. Yeah, it's just resetting now. Yeah. So there's a symptom if you have bad decoders, and both of these were bad. Interesting. Okay, cool. Now it's not doing anything. There it goes. Yeah. Turn it down. Yeah, okay. Yeah, these are garbage. That's unfortunate. And let's go ahead and I'm going to put this original ROM number 11 in the board. That guy right there. Remember, I replaced that guy too. So let's put these back in, and then I'm going to put in original ROM 11 and see what it does. Curious. Okay, we got the good decoders, the new decoders back in, 2 and 3, and original ROM 11. So let's go ahead and fire it up. Huh. Okay, let's reboot it. And it seems to be working. Huh. That is strange. I don't know what to make of that. Huh. Yeah, it looks good. Yeah, I don't know. I will send this along with this, but I do not like that because this ROM did not verify to Defender. I don't get it. It seems to be fine. Yeah, I don't like that. I am going to send it back with this ROM in it. I will send this back with it, but I don't like that it's not. I don't like that it didn't verify to Defender. It's weird. It was like I couldn't dump this ROM. So there's something's funky with this. I'm not gonna. I'm not trusting that ROM right there. So yeah. Okay. That's very strange. All right, I just have to wait now. I can hook up, make sure all the sounds are working and all that, and I can do a little play, beeping around. But I'm waiting for this. I got to put that in and put batteries in it. I'm going to put the like carbon batteries in it that are not alkaline, and the RAM and the battery holder. That's pretty much it. Yeah. And caps. I got a kit coming to cap the power supply. And that'll do. Yeah. All right, cool. I'll be back once I get parts. All right. And what we replaced on this guy to get this thing working again, the two 153s. You remember those guys right here. The two palette RAMs, the color palettes, up here. This was one RAM that was bad, so I replaced that. The 395 that came out of the board right here. The 5101 RAM right here. Both of the decoders, these two guys. And this ROM, which the board runs with it, but I don't trust it because it acted flaky in my reader. It might be fine. I don't think so though. I don't trust it. I would not trust it. So yeah. And there was one more. Remember the 393 right here that was bad. I ended up just cutting that out of the board. I desoldered and removed the rest of them. But this one, I had just cut that out of the board. So, yeah, and I decided to go ahead and just desolder everything else. Yep. I want to start collecting and saving bad chips for if I ever do get to starting the digital electronics series. I want to have bad chips to kind of show how they don't work and that kind of thing. So I think that would be kind of cool. So I got bad RAM. I got bad logic. Here's another RAM. What kind of RAM? Yeah. Anyway, that's gonna really do it for this part of this repair. I gotta wait on some parts. And I will, I'll make a little series of recapping the power supply and doing the RAM conversion and all that, and putting the battery holder in and hooking everything up, the soundboard, hooking the widget, the little control interface, and making sure everything works properly. So as for right now, we're going to end this right here. Next part will be all that other good